Welcome to Empty Nesters True Crime Podcast, where we explore chilling mysteries and dark secrets. With their nest now empty, Susan and Nancy have more time to uncover the truth and venture into the unknown. Let's step into the shadows together, shall we?
Hey, Susan.
Hey, Nancy. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, and welcome back, everybody, to our Empty Nesters podcast. We're happy you joined us this week.
I know we record ahead, so we can still put content out on Sunday, but it's been 2 weeks since I've seen you.
Yeah, it has been.
Yes.
That's right, because we did a double episode last time we were together.
It was. Yeah.
That was a fun, those were a couple of fun ones to do.
It was an interesting night.
Yeah, Susan's punch bowl went over very well.
With the husbands.
With the husbands.
And the daughter before she went to OTS.
And yes, I think people were surprised to see we did finish that punch bowl. People were concerned about that.
We did not finish the punch bowl.
Oh no, Susan and I did not. Our guest.
Our guest.
Our guest.
Our guest.
It did not go to waste. Somebody mentioned that was a big punch bowl. I said, don't worry, it got drank. Drank.
So, if you're having a large gathering, that the Chatham Artillery Punch is a hit.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
So, Susan, I know you're super excited to tell us about your week.
Last weekend, yes. We record on Fridays, and I got back from New York City on Monday, and today was the first day I felt like a 100% human being. It's been a busy week, though, because I just jumped right back into life, and it was my birthday week.
In real world, yeah, Susan owns a business. I'm sure y'all figured that out. So she's got a tough week when she comes back.
And I just kind of dove in and went back to work. I maybe should have started Tuesday about noon. Would have been a better fit, but it's what it is. So it's a long weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we get the long weekend now.
Yeah.
Did you want to share any of your New York City trip?
I will say I'm going to share one thing because I don't want to go on and on because I could go on and on about New York, but that would be its own podcast. That we were invited to a pop-up for the group, two friends that we were going to see. My daughter loves them. And we were invited to the pop-up on Thursday night. We got the directions to the pop-up. It was like some secretive thing, like a couple hours before the pop-up.
Ooh.
It was in a damn bagel shop. We were all like, what? We're going to a bagel shop? So we got there early, which Ariel's always punctual, and we had to wait. So we went down to a pub a couple of doors down from the bagel shop and got drinks and met more people going to the bagel shop for this pop-up. And I want to tell you, I have never listened to EDM or a rave or whatever you want to call it in a bagel shop. I can say I now have. I did not know that was on my bucket list, but that should be on everyone's bucket list. The police got called, so the NYPD and the lights were out there, but they did let us play one more song before they shut it down.
So how did the police get called?
Because this bagel shop has apartments above it.
Oh, so
it's like a little community.
So it was wasn't approved. They just did this.
Who knows? I don't know.
Susan, you were at a party with the cops being called?
I don't know. Apparently there was some famous comedian there, and there was a reality TV show stars there from Bravo.
Really?
I would, if you want to know the names, message me of the name of the show and I'll let you know, because I had no idea who they were.
So I love reality TV. I probably would have known. They might have been getting autographs.
Now I'm showing my age. But it was wonderful. It was a great time. It just is so good to get you out of your head. And
yeah, you work hard. You deserve it.
Yes. And we had a wonderful time. And I did not get to bed before 3 a.m. the whole weekend, except for the night before we were getting on the plane.
And speaking of the plane, we had almost your own true crime podcast just from the plane, right?
Oh my God! Yes,
you sent me some Snapchats.
I forgot I was Snapchatting you during that.
Our crime heads were going a mile a minute, but yeah, let everybody know what you witnessed because I thought it was pretty cool.
It was something that I will probably never see again in my life. But there's like 6 officers, and they're got this guy handcuffed, and he's just kind of smiling and talking to the officers, but then they pull this lady up out of the seat and take her to the back by the bathroom. They're going through trash cans. And all I can tell you is that the guy was laughing. The lady was crying. Both of them left in handcuffs on a plane to Atlanta with 6 policemen that never came back off the, what's it called?
The terminal thing?
Yeah. They went with them.
They flew back with them somewhere.
I guess. I don't know.
Are we thinking drugs? Were they smuggling drugs?
We
don't know. I would have been up there asking questions, Susan.
I don't know.
He thought it was funny and she not so much.
Oh, yeah. He had a big old smile, but she was not happy. But I was like, well, those police officers, at least some of them will come back. Nope. They all were on the plane and we're going to Atlanta. And my daughter said, how would you feel if that was you on the plane? I'd be like, can you tell me what you did? I do a true crime podcast.
Here's a microphone.
I really would like to be able to, oh, you're innocent? Tell me about that.
Susan, I love true crime. Any opportunity to get a story, we'll take it.
But here's something I found out, though, in LaGuardia. And I have not seen this before. There's video of what you're putting in the trash can.
Like everywhere there's videos.
Well, this particular trash can.
Oh, the trash can has a video.
It has it's like a motion video, I think. And when you put the trash in,
gotcha.
It videos you.
Well, maybe because people are doing this kind of stuff, trying to get rid of evidence or something.
I don't know. I was drinking a Manhattan at the bar, watching it all unfold.
And Susan did tell me on the side note that Manhattan was not her favorite drink.
And that we would not be making a Manhattan when I tell my New York story.
Yeah, well, she'll come up with another good one. So I guess we'll jump into our drink first. This is a purple monster. It's a fun drink to watch. It actually turns purple when you put the secret ingredient, which you have to watch to find out what it is. But I named it the Purple Monster because this story is about a monster. I mean, there's no other way to describe the lady that we're going to talk about today. So I'll just kind of jump in. In October 2018, a small town in Wisconsin was shaken to its core. Wausau, a community where neighbors knew each other and parents felt secure leaving their children in the care of a trusted babysitter, would never think to know that Marissa Tietsort was a monster. She was 28 years old, and she's in the center of a heartbreaking and horrifying case that would leave a family in mourning and a community grappling with unimaginable grief. Marissa, she's a mother herself, a face that could seem kind and comforting, but underneath that exterior, there was something else. So before we get to the main part of the story, it's only going to be helpful to us to start by going through the timeline of Marissa, because there's a lot here, and it's going to paint a picture of her, because this was not a one-time thing. So let's go back to June 2010. Marissa's boyfriend, Adam Bouchard, who is the father of her children, he filed a child abuse injunction and a temporary restraining order against her, alleging she was using drugs and abusing one of their sons at the time. He was about a year old. According to the petition filed in the Marathon County Circuit Court, Adam accused Marissa of leaving their son in a hot car. Adam claimed that during a break from work, he found their son in the car, red-faced and sweaty. When he attempted to bring the child inside to cool him down, Marissa allegedly prevented them from entering the house and slapped him in the face. About a week later, during a rainstorm, Marissa left the house with the child to attend a party. Adam went and retrieved the child, but claimed that Marissa refused to give him the boy's formula and other items that he needed to care for him. A judge did grant a temporary restraining order and a child abuse injunction. The restraining order was set to remain in effect for 1 year. From 2013 to around 2014, she would have charges of drug paraphernalia, receiving, concealing stolen property, possession of controlled substance, possession of an illegal obtained prescription, bail jumping, operating a motor vehicle without a valid license, resisting a police officer, and obstructing an officer. 2015, she was charged with retail theft in the city of Antigo. So as you can see, she has a long record of criminal activity. In June 2017, the parents of a 3-month-old boy reported to Wausau police that their child was injured while under Marissa's care. The baby was brought to the emergency room with facial bruising and a fractured skull. Marissa claimed the injuries occurred when the infant's 3-year-old sister was like jumping on the couch and knocked into her, causing her to drop the bottle on the baby, or that the sister tried to take the bottle away when she was feeding him, causing the bottle to strike the baby. However, police determined that the injuries were inconsistent with Marissa's explanation. Susan, there is no way a bottle just bumping into a baby's head would cause a skull fracture. But Marissa was never charged, as they say there was insignificant probable cause to file charges. So now we'll go to August 2018, where Megan Royce and Dylan Baum had known Marissa through a friend and also known her for over a year before allowing her to babysit their 11-month-old baby girl. Marissa had already babysat for Megan before, about 2 weeks before this incident occurred, but the baby would suffer injuries to her face. Marissa would tell the story that the little girl rolled off a couch and fell on the floor, hitting some toys while she had her down for her nap. Doctors did not believe this to be true, as the little girl had extensive bruising and scratching to the face. Later in October, the Marathon District Attorney's Office filed child abuse charges against Marissa from this incident. She was now under a court order not to babysit younger children, probably any children. So this brings us to Heather Gardner, who was returning to work after the birth of her second son. Benson was born July 31st, 2018, to parents Heather and Jamie Song. They had another child. He was a son, Jathan. A coworker recommended the babysitter, she was 28 at the time, Marissa Tietsort. Since Marissa and Heather were from the same hometown, they knew each other. Heather dropped off her 2 children around 3:30 on October 18th. Within a couple hours, Marissa sent Heather a text warning her of a story on the local news. It was a website, and they were claiming that Marissa had been charged with abuse, child abuse. She then tells Heather that she isn't supposed to be in contact with any children. She asks Heather not to tell anybody that she's babysitting for her. I don't know about you, but I probably would have ran and got my children. But, because that's obviously the charges from the baby, the previous baby, Megan's baby, that's now coming out. But I don't know Heather's situation. Maybe she's not in a spot she could leave at the moment. Or maybe she didn't really look into what those charges were. Maybe she's not believing them.
Or Marissa was charming.
Yeah. So when Heather went to pick up the kids about 3 hours later, Marissa was already waiting at the door, which was unusual, as they usually chatted a bit. But this time, Baby Benson was already strapped in his car seat, all bundled up in his cute little snowsuit and hat. The baby appeared to be sleeping, but since it's about 9 p.m., it didn't red flag Heather that anything could be wrong. So Heather and her sister left with the 2 boys, Jathan and Benson, and headed to the laundromat. When they got there, Heather went to take her baby out of the car seat, and she realized Benson was cold to the touch and not breathing. She laid him on the table and tried to revive him. Her sister did call 911 immediately. The 911 operator told them they need to start CPR. They didn't actually know how to do it, but they were given instructions. I'm not sure if they didn't know how, but at a time like that, you're just so panicking.
Well, it's a baby, so it's different.
And you're right. It's a 2 fingers, if I'm correct, right, Susan?
You're right.
2 fingers. The officers and EMTs quickly arrived, but they immediately could tell 11-week-old Benson had been dead for hours. Rigor mortis had already begun. The homicide detective arrived. Heather informed them of the text earlier and how weird Marissa, that text where, she was not supposed to be watching children. And she mentioned how weird Marissa had been acting when they picked up Baby Benson. The detective was aware of Marissa's case as she was working on the case. Marissa had been charged 9 days before. Marissa had already lost custody of 4 of her 5 children. The child that she...
Isn't that crazy? Like, you can lose custody of 4 of your 5 children.
Well, here's the thing. The 5th child was born after, so they probably hadn't taken the child away yet.
Well, I have friends that are foster parents.
Uh-huh.
And they don't have to take all the children.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. A lot of times it is where they'll take, 4 of the children out, and then mom's pregnant with the 5th child.
Okay.
And then that child gets to come home with her until something happens. I've seen things like that where you'll have 4 kids go into foster care, but she's pregnant and she gets to keep that child. But then after a few years, she may lose that child and that child gets adopted by another family. It's just a damn mess.
Okay, because, there's something else that's going to be coming up.
Yeah.
So right now she has 5 children. 1 is with her, 4 are not.
Yeah, and a friend of mine, she's getting ready to adopt her daughter that is right now actively in foster care. Actually, the adoption hearing should have happened yesterday.
Oh, how exciting.
Yes, congratulations. I'm excited for her. But the mother had another child, and when they knew the mom was pregnant, they asked my friend, they were like, would you be willing to take this baby? Because they try to keep siblings together.
Right.
Unless it's not best for the children or there's all kinds of circumstances. She said no, because the one she had was a handful enough. But that baby, which is now probably a toddler, is with the maternal grandmother.
Okay.
But it's it can be all complicated. Each story is different. But yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I said, it's sad that she's already lost custody of 4, but she's a babysitter. She should not be babysitting children, as you're about to find out. So the detective went to Marissa's house, but she was not home. But
imagine that.
I know.
I mean, the way it's looking, she killed a baby.
I don't know. She, I might have another story. But they did find her and her boyfriend, Adam, at the Plaza Hotel. They were able to track Marissa by her cell phone. Somehow they got her cell phone location off of somewhere.
Then she was at the Plaza.
The Plaza Hotel. So, Adam...
What kind of hotel was a Plaza? Did you...
The Plaza, I don't think it's anything great. I don't.
Or
They're just escaping the police, Susan.
It's like Motel 6.
I don't think this is anything high class.
I'm thinking New York City still, the Plaza.
Yeah, one of the things online called the Plaza Hotel, but I think it's just a hole in the ground.
We'll have our producer look up the Plaza.
Well, I did see a hotel, and I don't know if that was the actual one, but it didn't look very good.
Okay.
It's one you probably wouldn't have stopped at traveling, but so
absolutely not.
Yeah. So Adam initially thought they were there about the baby before, that Marissa had hurt previously.
And that's her boyfriend.
Yeah. And he had said that, so when they, mentioned why they're there, he had said Baby Benson and his brother were fine. He told the police how they all went to McDonald's, and he was shocked and said he had no idea that the baby was deceased. Because he initially said that he was the one who put Baby Benson in the car seat before they left to McDonald's, and he was crying at the time. Well, that's a lie. So either he doesn't remember that he's not the one who put the baby in the car seat, but that baby was not alive when they went to McDonald's. But it could have been he was just trying to say they're fine to help cover up for Marissa, but I truly believe that he did not know that this injury had occurred, and, she was also lying to him. But when they interviewed Marissa, initially she denied anything. And, it's weird because she has no emotions. I mean, this baby just died in her care. And if you watch, she's smiling, laughing during the interview. She said they were at the hotel to swim with her son. They were not running or escaping. Okay, 9 o'clock at night, Susan, do you ever take your kids to the hotel to go swimming?
At 9 o'clock at night?
Yes.
I might. I mean, I really might at 9.
Okay.
I mean, haven't you? On vacation?
She's not on vacation. She was at her house, and she just left her home to go. I think she went to hide out at the hotel, but the police found her. So now she's just saying, we just came here to go swimming. I took my kids here. She's not far. She's trying to hide.
Because I see your point, but if I took the kids to a hotel, I might take them and be like, hey, let's swim. But the hotel pool's closed at 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I think she was just trying to run. She knew what she did. So, of course, she initially denied that she knew the baby was dead. But, however, they reminded her that Heather's sister had sent Marissa a text. And it wasn't a very nice text. I think it was, you killed my sister's beep, 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 baby. There were some cuss words. But Marissa's saying, she claimed her phone was off and she never saw that message. But detectives knew that. And for one time she said she didn't even have the phone, but they said, Marissa, how do you think we found you? Through your phone. So they know that she's lying. So now Marissa does confess. She knew the baby was deceased before her boyfriend got home. She left him, she says, in a pack and play and was watching him on her baby monitor, and he wasn't making any noise. She says she found him face down. Though Marissa will say she didn't kill Benson, she also admits to not making any effort to resuscitate him or get him medical treatment. Upon discovering the baby was dead, Marissa dressed him in his snowsuit and hat, covered him with blanket, and placed him in his car seat. According to her statement to police, when the boyfriend returned home around 6:30, she did not disclose the infant was dead to him, and instead she took the deceased baby to McDonald's along with her boyfriend, their son, and then little Jathan, Benson's brother. They went back home after they had their McDonald's, and it's on surveillance camera, kind of sad. They went back home afterwards, waited for Heather to arrive, the mom, and handed him off, pretending everything was okay. Now, Benson's autopsy confirmed he died of multiple blunt force to the head, and he had 3 separate blunt force injuries. Also, he had a significant tailbone injury. From medical reports and interviews with Marissa, it is believed he died around 4:30 that day. The surveillance camera from McDonald's showed they were there about 2 hours after that. On January 4th, 2019, Marissa was charged with first-degree intentional homicide in the death of Baby Benson and was on a $500,000 bond. Oh, and also at this time, she's pregnant with her 6th child.
Is she 28?
Well, that's probably 30.
30 then?
Well, late 20s, yeah, 2019, yeah. So, but again, September 2021, she was deemed competent to stand trial. The case would move forward. As a part of a plea deal, she would get a reduced charge of first-degree reckless homicide and child abuse. Though on March 8th, 2022, Marissa, who's now, so she's 31 now in 2022, she would be sentenced. At her trial, the Benson's family, they could seen wearing these sweatshirts that said "Justice for Benson" with his little picture on it. So they did charge Marissa, and she got 37 years on murder and 3 years on abuse charge. The Marathon County Circuit Judge Lamont Jacobson said the families of the 2 babies were justified in considering Marissa a monster.
37 years? That's it? Well, maybe 40? That's it?
Well, she's got a long history, too, so I'm
She's
kind of surprised.
28?
I was kind of surprised.
So she's going to get out at 68?
Yeah.
She's still going to be able to walk a beach, see the mountains, see the leaves change color. Benson didn't get that chance.
Yeah. And you know, who knows how many babies she's actually injured before this? Because how many times can somebody might pick up a baby and she say, oh, he had a fall, he's got a bump on his head. Or, and I know the one that had the fractured skull, you know, they didn't notice it, not immediately, because I think the bruising started later, you know, because it probably just happened. You know how bruising can come. So those poor people, when they took their child to the hospital, they thought the parents did it. Like, they're not believing that he had been at a babysitter's, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the parents took a polygraph on that one. I believe so. But, I mean, I felt bad when I was reading about that one, because everybody's thinking, oh, you probably did it. You know what I mean? There's no proof that it, you know. But anyways, this clears it up, though. So I'm sure everybody sees this now. But don't worry, Marissa would apologize to the two families, saying the day she killed Benson was the worst day of her life. Also said if she could go back to that day, she would have told Benson's mother what happened. She didn't deserve to find out at a laundromat. Yeah. She's very cold and heartless. I'll say there is no emotion when she talks. Marissa's attorney, Michael Hughes, believes that though she needed to be punished for her crime, she also needs help. He tells that Marissa's father abandoned her, leaving her to live with a stepfather who exploited her and her sister by paying them to expose parts of their bodies. Marissa's mother, a drug addict, traded her to 2 dealers for drugs, who then assaulted her in a bathroom. While she screamed for help, that never came. To cope with her traumatic upbringing, Marissa turned to drugs. As a result, she became a low-functioning adult who feels an attachment to children and desire to care for them. Okay, so clearly she had a messed up youth, but I'm sorry, I feel no pity whatsoever for her, none. Her lawyers asked the judge to sentence her to 14 years. However, the judge believed that nothing in Marissa's past justified the terrible crime she committed. The judge, who also ordered that she'll have to do her 2 sentences consecutively and then have 20 years of extended supervision after her.
Ooh.
Yeah, supervision. So Marissa Tietsort was entrusted with the care of people's children, and she betrayed that trust in the most horrific way possible. What's particularly chilling, though, it's her lack of remorse and the meticulous way she covered up what had happened. This is not just a case of negligence. It's a calculated act, one that suggests deeper, more disturbing psychological issues at play. So, Susan, what do you think? Do you think her own childhood abuse should get her off of any of this? Or do we think that as an adult she should have maybe just stayed away from children if she doesn't have any empathy towards them?
Other people's children, most definitely.
Yeah.
She had to have enough personality that a mother trusted her with her children.
So yeah, the title to the story is definitely The Babysitter from Hell. So now she has 6 children of her own. I'm not sure what the baby that she was pregnant. You'll see pictures of her in jail, and she has a nice little belly. I'm not sure what happened to that baby after it was born, or the other one that was still with her when all this happened.
Well, and that baby should have just been given up for, in my opinion. That baby should have just been given to a family waiting to adopt a baby. But that baby most likely went to because they want to keep the babies with the family.
Okay.
So it probably went to someone in her family, someone in the dad's family. The dad kept the baby.
Adams.
Like, they're going to try that first. And I understand that. But I just think that baby she should have had the baby, and the baby just be shipped somewhere just to have a whole start. Why have the stigma? My mom's a murderer.
Mm-hmm. She
Killed a baby while she's pregnant with me.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I thought, were you thinking about in the beginning, I was telling you all about what she had did to her own children. So Adam continued to have 6 children with her when he knew that she was abusive. Remember, she abused one of their own child. She left
He
the
was
kid in the
probably
car.
abusive too. It maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, they don't say anything about Adam, and I don't think he believed that. I mean, he knew that she took the dead baby too, but I think he tried to protect her. You know, when the cops came right away, it was like, oh, I put the baby in the car seat. The baby was fine. No, the baby had been dead then.
Or be like, you know, because, I mean, those listen to your damn mother or whatever, and, you know, you can twist things with your significant other. Mm-hmm. Can manipulate. You know, if you know how to work your significant other if you want something bad enough. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're great, Susan. Yeah, so she could have been very charming with Adam.
I mean, it could be, or we don't know. Did Adam work a lot? Maybe he was tired and just too tired to care. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, but he stayed with her through, you know, all this. But who knows what he knew about all the child abuse charges, you know? But
I don't know, because if he was working 8 to 12 hours a day, he's coming home tired. He's not seeing what's going on in those hours.
Right.
So, who knows?
But yeah, so now this story, I saw the headline and I thought, oh my gosh, this is the babysitter from hell. And I know that there's a lot of people that have to do childcare while they work.
Yeah.
And, you know, she had already had a history before we got to Baby Benson. But, you know, young moms, you know, she knew her. You know, she probably looked very reliable to her, but...
Well, I mean, if I was new to the neighborhood and I met my neighbors or whatever, and I met you, I would trust you to watch my child.
Yep, she was recommended.
Without saying, hey, Nancy, let me have a background check.
I was just going to say, there's a lot of people think everybody should have a background check. And I mean, in a perfect world, but that, you know, that's not always going to happen.
But I'm like, no, this is Nancy. We spend a lot of weekends together. We do a lot. We've gone on vacation together.
We have.
Yeah, like, that's Nancy. She's never going to hurt my child.
So, yeah, how Benson actually died, of course, we're never going to know the truth. But he had they're thinking maybe he was crying and she just tried to stop it. You know?
That's what I absolutely thought.
Yeah.
Because I have babysat in my time, and I've taught preschool.
And Susan's a grandmother now, so she has a baby.
And that little sucker can cry. I'm going to tell you. He's cute as can be, but he can have his moments where it is just and I could never imagine hurting him during one of his little crying fits. Mm-hmm. It's more of like, let's find out what... And he loves to go on the porch swing, so I just take him on the porch swing, and he's happy as a lamb. He's like, woo! But when I was younger and babysitting, I had a set of twins that were 9 months old, and I had Sydney was 10 months old. And the twins, the one just cried constantly all day long. And the mom come to the house, and this was the day I was going to tell her that this was the last day I was keeping them. It was a Friday, and she had just told me her dad had passed away that day.
Oh.
And I said to her, "This is the last. I can't watch these babies anymore." Mm-hmm. And she just kind of looked at me because she already had a whammy that morning, but because I had gotten to the point, I could not do it anymore with the one that was very colicky. Whatever was going on with her, it was too much for me. And for me, even though this woman's dad had passed away that day, I could not do it anymore.
At least you knew. Mm-hmm. And maybe if you just had the one baby, when you have 3 about the same age.
Too much.
Wow.
I never took on like that again. And not that they weren't sweet babies, but they were too much for me to handle by myself.
Yeah.
Along with everything else, I had other kids who would come before and after school, and my own kids, and too
gotcha.
much.
So yeah, you had
yeah.
That baby probably needed more one-on-one.
Well, I ran into them later. I ran into the dad, and they had found an older woman to watch the babies, and they were the only babies she had.
Right.
Which was exactly what they needed. Mm-hmm. So was it at that time the best time? Or yes, it was, because it all worked out perfectly for everyone.
See, everything happens.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but there's times I've gotten angry at my kids and probably have overpunished. I know I've overpunished. Not to kill them.
So that was, even now the other babies that were in her care. And like they said, how many other ones, we go home with a bruise here or there. And what happens? Oh, they fell. The baby got bumped.
And it does happen.
It does happen, but yeah, she had a little too much happen.
I mean, in preschool, when I taught preschool, they all biting each other.
Oh, that's right. You're a preschool teacher.
And it happens. I don't know. I just don't know how you wrap a baby up and give it to its mother.
Put in a little snowsuit, put the hat down over its eyes, and tell the mom it's sleeping and hand it off.
Here you go.
And then, go with your own child swimming. So emotionalist. Okay, moving on.
Where did she think she was going to get away with that?
That's what I was thinking. How do you hand a dead baby off and not think it's going to come back to you?
Meaning they're going to ask you about it.
Unless maybe, it didn't die in my care. It was alive when I gave it to you. But again, rigor mortis set in. Mm-hmm. They can tell how long someone, the legs were formed to the car seat because it had been sitting in there so long. You know what I mean? Because think about it, put that baby in that car seat before they went to McDonald's. That poor baby had been sitting there. She was
just so stupid she didn't realize that science was going to come back to get her.
Yeah.
I don't think people think about that. They're like, well, who's going to know?
Who's going to know? Just hand her off, just like the other baby.
Who's going to know?
Handed that one off, and the bruising. Because sometimes when you bruise, it can be the next day. You're like, whoa. I do that all the time at my age, Susan. I find a bruise. I'm like, how the heck did I do that?
Yep.
But that's what happened with those parents. And like I said, they go to the hospital, and now they're being accused. But,
yeah. That's just...
Well, she deserves everything she got. We know that prisons don't like baby killers. So.
No, they don't. And do we know if when she gets out of prison... Well, maybe we don't know, but there should be something implemented that she can't be around children.
Well, she already wasn't supposed to, so clearly she's not going to follow the rules anyways. But people will know her name now, so...
Well, even... We can't say... She's not going to follow the rules anyway. Still needs to be out there so when she breaks the rules, she can go back to prison.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you mean, right? Even if it's just babysitting.
Well, she don't need to babysit.
No. Yeah. I thought you meant breaking the rules because she broke a lot of rules in her life. Not even just child abuse, She was on drugs and she had a whole history. So not a good person. So... Yes, unfortunately, she did have a rough childhood, but people overcome stuff like that.
People have rough childhoods.
Yeah, I mean, hers was a little extensive, but again, then...
People have worse childhoods than she has had that can be very successful adults.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Take a drink.
Take a drink.
Yeah, you're right.
You see so many people wallow in what happened to them as a child. And I used to do that myself. You can't be a successful adult and live in the past.
That's great advice, Susan. We were talking about that today with a friend about how everybody can kind of be sad about something in their past, but you need to go forward, right?
Yeah.
You need to, yeah.
You can be sad that happened, but you can't let it dictate what your future is.
Right. Or your actions.
Right.
Let's do better. And especially when she chose to be a mom 6 times. So
yeah. You don't get to choose a lot of things in your past, but you can choose your future, and that's totally up to you.
That's good advice. I like that. And you choose to go forward and do the right stuff.
Yeah. You're not going to get it right every day.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to make sure you're doing your best to get it right every day.
I like that.
And do better than you did the day before.
Well, maybe Marissa's making some changes in prison, but...
Maybe she is, but she still don't need to be out when she's in her late 60s.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
She's a baby killer.
Yeah. Poor Baby Benson. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was our story for today, Susan. Did we like our cocktail? That's why we called it the Purple Monster.
She's a monster, all right.
She is. Yeah, that was sad. So,
you know what I liked about the cocktail? be done with this after this and we can go, because I know people don't like a lot of banter, but you need to go watch the cocktail, because the cocktail was this beautiful blue color.
Right?
In honor of Baby Benson. And we don't talk about the story when we do our cocktail because it's like a pregame.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the cocktail is this beautiful blue color. Then Nancy puts in the grenadine.
The monster.
The monster part. The grenadine. And it changes. It's not a beautiful purple color. It's more like a deep purple color.
Evil color.
And it is evil. It's like an evil witch.
I like that. We had a beautiful blue cocktail.
That was Baby Benson. And then you added the bitch that killed him.
That's right.
Which was
the monster.
The ugly monster.
That's right. Everyone made that drink.
I think that drink should be called the Ugly Monster.
We can rename it.
No, we can't, but we might be like in quotation marks, Ugly Monster.
Ugly Monster.
But yeah.
That is true. Yeah. Right?
I think so.
Just add that one thing to a beautiful thing, ruin the whole thing.
Yeah, because when it was blue, it was a beautiful color drink.
Just like Baby Benson.
Like Baby Benson. And you added the grenadine and changed the color. And the color change was cool, but you turned it into an ugly purple, because it's not a pretty purple. It's an ugly purple, and that's what she is.
Ugly.
Ugly.
And a baby killer.
And a baby killer.
Well, thank y'all. And if you're still here listening to us through the whole episode, we really appreciate it. Give us a like, a follow, a share. Leave us a comment.
Subscribe.
Yes, we are working hard on this podcast. I know a lot of you have been here from day one, and we really, really appreciate it. But again, we definitely appreciate a share, like, follow.
And comment.
Comment, yes.
Yes, because if there's something we need to change, like banter too much in the middle. If we banter too much at the end, you can stop listening.
Yeah, you can stop listening.
But what do you prefer? I hear a lot of people want no banter. Mm-hmm. I don't think we can not banter some.
Well, Susan and I are really good friends, y'all. So this is also our time to get together, and we hope you're enjoying it too. It's kind of like girlfriend hour.
Because Nancy goes out a lot, and I don't go out a lot. So,
Susan!
We'll see you Sunday, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Thank y'all.
Thanks for joining us on Empty Nesters True Crime Podcast, where we've delved into chilling mysteries and dark secrets. With their nest now empty, Susan and Nancy will keep uncovering the truth and venturing into the unknown. Until next time, stay safe and step into the shadows with us again.